What's up? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I'm Morrow, your storyteller for today, and with me I have some more RPG horror stories. Completely unrelated question to RPG horror stories. What is your favorite soft drink, or soda, or pap? My favorite is Dr. Pepper. Also, speaking of Dr. Pepper, Mary gave me some crap and how apparently all Dr. Pepper drinkers are bottoms. And now Mary calls me a bottom because I simply like Dr. Pepper. Anyway, tell me your favorite drink down below, and I'll get to my first RPG horror story video for today. DM forces my character and another PC into bed together. So this happened quite a few years ago. I was playing with a group that included my ex, who I was still dating and living with at the time, my sibling, my sibling's boyfriend at the time, and another friend of ours, being DM'd by my ex's best friend. Now, up until the point of the story begins, we've been enjoying the very roleplay heavy game. And on the rare occasions that a PC would get into an intimate situation with an NPC, we had to use the fade to black rule exclusively. This was until my female gnome character was spending time with a female NPC. Because my character had been away from the party for a while of an in-game time, one of the other PCs, played by my sibling's boyfriend, went to check on her. When his PC came into the room where my character and the NPC were, my character yelled at him to get out, loudly and in no uncertain terms. That's when my DM stopped me and told me to roll to resist inviting his PC to join us. Okay, hold on. What? I failed the DC, which thinking back was probably set impossibly high. The DM would never tell us what the DC was for any checks. But then, instead of the normal fade to black, the DM told my sibling's boyfriend to describe in explicit detail what he was doing to my character while both my sibling and ex were at the table. Hold on one second. There's no way this is just an out of nowhere thing. Nobody ever just comes out of nowhere. It's like, hey, you know what? I know we'll be dealing with Fade to Black, but really want a raunchy menage a trois scene. Please describe it in detail while I'm polishing shoes under the table. My sibling was silent for the rest of the session, but my ex didn't see an issue with it at all. He couldn't understand why I was still upset about it for weeks after. He told me it was ridiculous for me to feel violated by something that was just a bit of fun, and it was only a game, so I should get over it. If your group rules with Fade to Black for these kind of intimate raunchy scenes, then stick to Fade to Black. Why change the rules out of nowhere? Probably your DM and ex-boyfriend are setting us up for some sort of kinky roleplay stuff just out of nowhere. They decided, you know what? Today is the day that I want to be a kinky DM to surprise my party. What a great surprise they're gonna get. It's gonna be like Christmas, except not fun at all. I continued playing in that group for a few more months before leaving when I broke up with my partner. But it was very uncomfortable at the table from that night until I left. The DM didn't do anything more than was this level of creepy for the rest of the time, but we were all very careful about not getting into intimate situations from then on. I wonder why. Maybe because the DM broke y'all's trust and stuff with pulling out weird kinky nonsense out of nowhere. Big thinking moment. My sibling kept playing in campaign for almost a year after, but would tell me stories that the DM was getting more and more railroady. That he added a DM NPC that became the driving force for the entire story, perma-deathed a couple of PCs without death saves from damage that wouldn't have even taken their characters to 0 HP, and other things like that before they finally gave up and left. I thankfully have since found a new group I've been in for 4 years with the most amazing DM I could ever ask for, but I still make all my characters asexual now. Yeah, cause one terrible experience can ruin the whole bunch, dude. For real, makes sense. For real though, I hope you're still having fun with your current campaign and you're having a good time. And this is a good lesson for everybody. If suddenly out of nowhere your DM starts going with kinky stuff, just blatantly out of nowhere, something you can do is say, nope, doesn't happen, I don't agree, I don't consent, I'm out of here, I'm gonna go play Helldivers or something. Simple as that. Leave the table. It's not gonna be worth it if suddenly out of nowhere the DM is just not budging on the kinky stuff. The best thing you could do is just spend your time doing anything else. Your schedule's cleared up now. You can do whatever you want. Anyway, let's get to the next story for today. DM makes AI porn of the party, then disappears. I played D&D for years, but I mostly played with longtime friends, and this is my only horror story. Started last year. I had just moved to the US to start a PhD in applied maths and was pretty lonely. The program was brutal, and I didn't have a lot of time for socializing, so my only friends outside of the department were thousands of miles away. At some point, I had mentioned that I played D&D to one of the other grad students, and he invited me to join his group. The group was mostly formed of people he'd met at uni. He'd done his undergrad at the same institution, so a mix of people in the early 20s. Aside from the two of us, both 23 male, there was a Dave, 25 male, who worked in finance, Zoe, 24 female, who was a med student, and Lily, 21 female, who was studying art. Now, the group was mostly great. The only relatively minor issue was Dave, our DM, who was somewhat lacking in social skills and tended to have very strong opinions about things he knew little about. This was especially irritating when he was something that one of the rest of us did know a lot about, and he refused to back down even when clearly wrong. But I'm a math student, so I'm no stranger to folks with poor people skills, and it wasn't too big a problem. I usually just tuned Dave out whenever he ranted. Anyway, we started our campaign in October. Dave was created a homebrew setting, which was fantastic and in-depth, and Lily offered to do some artwork for it. So over the course of the next couple of months, she did character portraits, a few landscapes, and even did painting of a few of the big battles. All the art was really, really good, and it made the campaign so much better. I have one of the battle paintings hung up in my flat. Damn, dude, that's actually so cool. Having a player with like incredible art skills be passionate and so into the thing you're making for the campaign to the point where they want to draw characters and landscapes and stuff, that is some impressive stuff for real. Around Thanksgiving time though, Lily's workload picked up, so she had to stop doing art for us. None of the rest of us had any artistic talent, unless you count painting 40k miniatures. I do count that. So we had to use stock pictures for new PCs. At some point though, Dave taught himself how to use generative AI and decided to make a bunch of new portraits for us. At the same time, it's not really difficult to teach how to generate AI. You just put in words and it makes a thing, and whoa, it makes a monstrosity with like 17 fingers. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of AI art, but he already made them, so I accepted mine, and we started using them. They were pretty cool, to be honest. His software allowed picture inputs, so his portraits were recognizable as us. This will be important later. I wouldn't really call AI art, it just kind of generates a picture. But I mean, for D&D and other TTRPG related stuff, as like placeholder artwork for like until you get it commissioned or drawn by a proper artist. But considering the title of the story, I am concerned. He got really into AI image creation, and he ended up making tons of pictures. Without permission, he made a Twitter account to post the pictures, which I followed and occasionally scrolled through. He posted pretty regularly, like a few pictures every week. It was kind of interesting to see images of us in various scenarios. Unfortunately, that wasn't the only Twitter account that he'd made. There was a second account that he hadn't shared with us, featuring more questionable pictures. One of Zoe's flatmates stumbled upon it while doing research and recognized her. He showed her the account, and she showed the rest of us. It was pretty horrifying, to be honest. There were dozens of images of each of our characters in various states of undress. We decided to confront Dave at the next session. As soon as I brought up the Twitter account, he went white. After about a second, he just bolted out the house, leaving his stuff behind. We tried to contact him, but he blocked us and everything and nuked both Twitter accounts. As far as I'm aware, he moved house shortly afterwards, although whether he left the city or not, just moved across the street, I have no idea. So yeah, there's probably porn of me floating about the internet, which is slightly horrifying to think about. Jesus Christ, Dave. Some AI models out there can make, generate porn pictures of different characters or imaginary characters or, whatever thing you type into it, right? An elf girl with a massive chest and badonkadonk, it will generate that stuff for you. Why make a Twitter account to share it with somebody else? Like, keep your own private collection if you all gotta make a private collection. Whatever you put out on the internet will be found out at some point one way or the other. Whatever you put out there on the internet, people will recognize, even if it's AI generated images of your D&D party. Though I feel like it'd be really strange for the flatmate of Zoe to explain, like, yeah, so I was researching, polishing my shoes under the table, and I found your character on Twitter of all things. I don't know if he actually physically dashed and zoomed away like a cartoon character towards the end there, but clearly Dave was put on the spot where he had to describe and explain what's going on and couldn't handle the situation and probably just left. I wish it was a fly on the wall just to watch Dave actually turn pale being confronted about having porn generated for the D&D characters. Good freaking lord. There's no moral to the story, just don't be Dave, guys. Just don't do what Dave did, please. And with that, that's gonna be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.